The Expert Series is brought to you by Draw It Paint, a dry erase paint company that allows you to create the exact space you want. Our products are designed for performance, engineered for durability, and manufactured for quality. Draw It Paint's 3 formulas will allow you to reach every possibility. Behold your best work.
What's up, everyone? My name is Hernandez. I am a music artist, a real estate investor, and I'm happy to share my experience, my mistakes, so that you don't have to make the same mistakes I've made along the journey.
Nice. I like that. All right. So background, where are you from? And you are from Arizona, I guess. Like, was your hometown, or you always lived there?
Hometown has always been Los Angeles, California, but Arizona is my second home. I've been here for years. I got into the real estate market in Arizona back in 2008, 2009, when, the real estate crashed. I got involved and just started to learn and grow. So definitely Arizona is my home. I love the weather, like we were mentioning before. The weather's nice, it's sunny, it's warm. I'm wearing just a t-shirt. It's almost November. So it's a beautiful state.
Yeah. What are like the winters like? Are they just like,
Well, it's cold. I'd say, about a 40-minute drive up north from where I'm located, we find snow starting in December. So, the weather does drop, being that it's a desert. You have the extremes. You have extreme heat, but you also have extreme cold. So it's beautiful. We get all 4 seasons and we get to enjoy them. I think summer's a little too long. It goes on for about 4.5 months. So imagine we get 120-degree weather regularly during summer.
Yeah, a lot different there than it is for us. Our winters are like super long. I personally don't hate them too much. I don't like driving in it. Mostly because most other people here don't know how to drive in winter. They don't realize you got to drive slower. Icy roads, to drive slower than that. But it's mostly looking out for other people. I know how to drive in the winter, but a lot of other people don't, or they're not prepared. They don't have winter tires or something. They slide into you or something.
Oh, that's dangerous. That's so dangerous.
Yeah. That's a shit we gotta deal with up here. But that's your background basically. I wanted to ask you about music and stuff, because you seem to be all about that. I make music as well, so that's why I want to hear your input on certain things. I want to hear what you have to say. What's the genre you're in again? It's like
pop. Yeah, I'm in Latin pop, and what I find to be key is being disciplined and organized, because as artists, we have no problem being creative. That's not a problem whatsoever. We can be creative on the drop of a dime. That's being that we're artists, we can do that. But here, hold on, let me get this to you. Being that we can be creative, we lack sometimes discipline and being organized to be able to launch our music on different platforms such as Spotify and iTunes, being able to publish it out to the world so that they can enjoy it. I think that's the biggest thing that artists need to focus on. That's something that early on in my career, I wasn't focused on that. I used to like creating and performing, but when it came down to distribute, I wasn't doing it properly. Another thing is you have to be consistent. Like your art, your public, they're going to be drawn to you because of the talent, because of your music. But if you're not consistently providing value to them in your music, new songs, new things to keep them engaged, we're in a time where anything can grasp their attention quickly. So we as artists need to be putting out content as much as possible so that our audience stays engaged.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. You see a lot of artists nowadays, they would release a lot of singles now. Because, like, you know, back in the day, well, it's all due to streaming. Streaming is so handy now. And that's how you can keep in touch so easily, because these singles people will just keep releasing them. They're always giving their audience like new stuff. Back in the day, it was always like an album because of CDs and stuff. So you work on an album. There was no singles and stuff back there. So when it comes to distribution, it's hard to kind of learn it all off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
I had to learn it the tough way too. Do you just do you put your music on like Spotify and stuff?
Yeah, I publish it. I'm self-published, meaning I'm not working with a label. So I produce everything, I arrange everything, and then I distribute it myself. So I'm my own publisher. But yeah, all my music is on Spotify, Pandora, iTunes, on Apple Music, all over the place. Nowadays, the nice thing about that is the internet and other platforms allow you to distribute simultaneously, you know, online. So here in the States, in Canada, in Mexico, in China, our music can be heard. So it's a pretty good time. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is. You use like DistroKid or like TuneCore and stuff like that?
I use TuneCore. Yeah, I've been with TuneCore for a while, and I like them. You know, I've been with them from the beginning. I have 5 music albums, and the first one I launched back in 2000 and I launched my first album back in 2005. 2005, and I started off with them and been with them ever since.
What do you like the most about them?
The way their dashboard works. It's organized. It's user friendly. It's super easy. The rates, I mean, they're not the least expensive. They're not the most expensive. They're pretty average. But I really like that it's easy to upload singles. It's easy to upload an album. It's easy to use. Yeah,
I used to use TuneCore for my stuff. I switched over. I use DistroKid. The thing with DistroKid, it's like an annual rate it's like an annual pay. So you pay, like, you have a subscription to it, and then you pay however, like, I think there's like different, I don't know. I haven't really looked into it. I got it a while ago, so I can't remember. I used to use TuneCore because you pay every individual song you release, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. DistroKid, you pay a subscription, then you release as much with it.
Oh, that's really good. I think that's even better.
Yeah, that's why I switched. I like TuneCore.
Do you have to go ahead and like your old stuff? So I got 5 albums up already. Like, would I have to, once I terminate my membership with TuneCore, would my albums be taken offline and then I have to upload them through DistroKid?
Probably.
Yeah.
I had a bunch of older projects on TuneCore. I ended up just taking them down. Is what happened. I just released new, or you could just re-upload them on DistroKid. But I mean, you could just, because, you know, like TuneCore, the thing about TuneCore, you're not paying a subscription. So, I mean, if you wanted to use DistroKid for now, you could leave your music there. It's not like you're paying anything for it. You know, like you can check into your TuneCore and you can take your stuff out.
So now it's like $49.99, so $50 per album per year. So like,
yes, you know, the annual fees for individual music, yeah. You'd be paying that, but DistroKid, you just be another subscription on top of it, but you can release all your newer stuff through that.
Nice. That's good. Like,
that's what I did.
Covers, like if you're someone that's doing covers, let's say you're doing 4 to 5 covers a month, it makes sense. That's, you know, that's 50, 60 songs in a year. It makes sense to do it with distro. That's good, man. I'm gonna look into that. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Well, I had to find out for that too. I don't release music as often because the genre I make is orchestra, like, you know, film score stuff. So I compose and produce all of that. So my music takes a long time to make. So people like me, TuneCore, like off the bat work, but I honestly still save money with DistroKid still, even though I don't release as much. I release like, yeah, you can release like a bunch of albums and it wouldn't cost you any more. Like you don't have to pay an annual fee for every album.
Perfect.
So like if you release a lot of music, then honestly it's more recommended.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
I mean, I have nothing against TuneCore. TuneCore, it's like, it's one of those things. It's like there's some people that buy music on iTunes and there's some people that stream it. It's just a preference between the two. It depends on who you are and what you're doing, that whatever service is more appealing. But I switched to DistroKid because I have that potential if I do want to release a bunch of music back to back without having to pay extra, then I can. So with your music and stuff, you said your first album was 2005.
Yeah.
So when did you like start doing all your music? Was that like?
So I was old, man. I was already 17 years old when I was intrigued by music. I was at a local church, and the band didn't show up, and the worship leader didn't show up. So the pastor was like, "Dude, we need somebody to learn how to play that's going to show up." So I took on that responsibility. I started playing at a local church. I enjoyed it. I developed an ear for music, and then I began to write, compose, and then produce. And I love it, man. It's definitely something I love doing.
Yeah, for sure. You have your own studio room at your house, or do you use a?
So yeah, I produce a lot of the pre-production stuff happens here at home. But when it comes time to record, I send it off, to the musicians I work with, and they'll record their piece and parts, and then we'll put it together and mix it and master it.
That's pretty sick. Yeah. So another thing with music is that have you ever had any like problems with it, or like coming up with music and stuff? Well, how'd it go for you? How'd you feel when you released like your first album?
So, I think as artists, we fall in love with our, creations, what we come up with. Like, I love it, man. I love coming out with new music. The biggest challenge I have, and I'm sure other artists can attest to this, is getting people to feel the same thing you feel, about your creation of the product you have. That's where the challenge lies. But it's part of the journey, it's part of understanding that it's a process. It's going to take time. It's not, if your intention is not to be a one-hit, viral wonder, that's here now and then it's gone tomorrow. If you want to create a career that's lasting, that people know about it, that they're still thinking about you, years into the future, it's going to take time. It's going to take time. So I'm okay with that and just enjoying every single day.
Yeah, for sure. I'm the same way. I feel something in my music. I want others to feel something in it. And that's the end goal basically as an artist. I had another question too about it. If I haven't forgotten it, I had it right in my head. It had something to do. Okay, I completely forgot what I was going to ask. It's a good question. I just kind of forgot. So I guess I'll ask you. This is the question. So have you ever been making music and then you might have some artists you listen to, but they have a style that you really like, and then you try to do something with it? Has that ever happened? Have you ever tried to they inspired you to try to make your own sound?
All the time. Sometimes when I'm writing a song, I will sit down and I'll pick a song as a reference. I'll say, okay, what genre, what style, what theme do I want to create in my new song? And I'll pick a song and I'll use it. I'll listen to it. I'll figure out how it's structured, the type of beat, the type of rhythm, all that. And then I will use it, and I won't replicate it because, it wouldn't be my own. But being that I'm using it as a reference, it'll influence my song a lot. Like I have a song out. It's a Spanish song that was inspired by a Portuguese song out in Brazil. While I was out in Brazil, I listened to some samba, and I liked the rhythm. And I said, dude, I want to write a song that's like with this rhythm. And I did. And you know what that song has been? You can find it on YouTube. It's called Divinamente Mujer. It just means in English, divine, a divine woman. And the rhythm is one exactly like the song I heard out in Brazil. The topic is something else that I, came up with in regards to women and how beautiful they are and how I, can appreciate a woman. And it's been a hit, man. To me, it's been a really awesome song that I did based on what you just said, getting inspired with a song and using it as a reference to create.
Yeah. It happens all the time. And sometimes it's for the good, sometimes it's for the worst. Like sometimes, I don't know how many songs I've scrapped because I've tried to like make them something that they're not, I listen to something and I would work on it and I'd be like, I kind of want to replicate that rhythm there or that sound. And it just never it just doesn't work out because that artist can do it because that's theirs. There's so much feeling put into it. Then when that feeling's gone because it was their song that you're trying to replicate, you don't have that same feeling and, effort being put into it. So I've scrapped so many songs. It's crazy. Are you like the same? Have you like scrapped so many?
Oh yeah. I have so many voice notes, so many audio files that are like 30% done that I've just put on the back burner. I'm like, all right, I'll get back to it sometime whenever I feel that inspiration again. But, it's part of the creative process. It's part of what we do as artists. So it's cool. I like it. I know one day it's going to, come, it'll be completed. But when that time comes, who knows, might be a couple months from now, a couple years. So who knows? Yeah.
Yeah. The inspiration thing, like you said, that's so true. Certain songs I'm working on, you're so inspired to do them. And then at one point you lose it and then you can't finish it. With orchestra, there's so much variation throughout the whole thing. Hans Zimmer or Two Steps from Hell or any of them?
I don't know much of that.
No, like like the movie soundtracks and stuff, or like even.
Oh yes.
Yeah, like the cinematic style music. Yeah, that stuff. There's so much variation to it. Yeah. So I'm constantly having to bring new sounds and instrumentals in, and it's hard. It's really hard in this genre because I'll be inspired in a song, like it's going well. I have good strings laid out and stuff, and then at one point, like I just. I lose inspiration or I don't know what to do next. And then I leave that song. And then it's been in my storage for like a year or something. I'm like, I don't know when I'm going to come back to this.
Oh, yeah.
It happens a lot. Like,
it does.
And if you're not creative, like, I don't recommend, like, there's a lot of people that do music. They're like, I want to do music because I'm doing music. But you need the creativity or you're not going to get anywhere. Even creative people like us leave songs behind. It's all part of it.
Yes. So true.
But yeah, is there any notable artists that you listen to that kind of inspired you to get into music, or they kind of inspire your music?
Yeah, man, I enjoyed smooth jazz, modern smooth jazz. When I was a kid, a teenager, I used to listen to that when I used to work out or play sports. I used to listen to modern smooth jazz. And that, now, I'm in pop now, and Latin pop, it has somewhat of an influence to it. I love funk. I love listening to, music that's 30, 40 years aged. I love the new stuff too. I listen to everything, man. To be honest with you, I don't have a preferred genre. I love music. I think it all can help me create better songs. So I listen to everything, man, everything.
Yeah, I honestly, when I was like in high school and stuff, I would listen to a couple genres. It'd be like, I listen to metal. I love metal. That's one that a lot of people are iffy on. Because they're like, they're screaming or it's aggressive or whatever. But like, I don't know. To any metalhead who may be watching this or whatnot, the feeling, like when you get into that, it's like really hype music. It really is.
Heck yeah.
You see mosh pits. I don't go in mosh. If I go to a metal concert, I'm not the guy in the mosh pit. But I could see why people are in mosh pits because they just lose it. Like music just brings out every genre brings out different feelings.
Yes.
Like, and that's why I have appreciation for like all of them because like I listen to as much as I can. I'm not a huge fan of EDM. That's the one I'm like iffy on. But I mean, we all have that one genre that's like, man, it's all right. But yeah, I have appreciation for everything because it all plays a part. It's all an art.
Yep. That's true, man. I'm in agreement with you 100%.
Yeah. For song process, how long does it take you? Just say a single. I mean, it comes down because like every song is different, but like on average, I guess like
I can if let's say I say okay, today I wanna finish a song. I want to start to finish a song. I can do it. A lot of my music I've done, in a day, meaning I write the song, I organize, I structure it, I create the verses, the chorus, the hook. I'll do that in a day. But when it comes time to produce the song, usually if I'm full time producing, it'll take 2-3 days to complete it. So, to write it a day, to produce it, to get it up, ready to go, mixed, master, 2-3 days. That's usually what it looks like.
Yeah. Honestly, if you have that inspiration, start to finish, then it's like a couple days. Mine's a little long. Just there's so much variation to the orchestra stuff. Yeah, it takes a bit longer. But still, it's within a week, like a week at the most. Honestly, for certain songs. And what about albums? You released 5 albums, which is
5,
it's crazy. I've only released 1 so far, and it was a process. Which ones or how is an album process for you? Is it tricky? Is it sometimes stressful or?
It's very stressful, definitely stressful because, it takes a lot of investment on one's end. I've invested a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money into coming, up with these albums. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's my passion, So it's worth it to me. I've spent so much of myself into my albums that to me, it's a part of me. So 20 years from now, 30 years from now, when I look back or when I show future generations my work, it'll be a representation of who I was in that moment. So it's worth it, man. That's why I've put out so many albums. In addition to the albums, I think I have 3 or 4 singles that recent singles that I've put out, because nowadays they're using singles more than albums. And it's smarter to go that route because that's the way it's being done. So you save time, you save money because you're not putting out 12, 14 songs at once. You're putting out a song, you market the song, you let people, get used to the song, and then you come in with another song. So the dynamics have definitely changed. And I'm cool with that. At first I wasn't. I remember I was hesitant. At first I was like, what the heck? Why do I have to do that? Why can't I just, keep on putting out albums? And I did. It's funny because I put out an album and I started to see that financially it didn't make sense to put out albums, complete albums, because people were only choosing 1 or 2, 3 max songs that they liked out of the album. And they weren't even listening to the other stuff. So, we have to be willing to adapt and grow as artists in this industry. We have to be willing. If we want to succeed, we have to adapt. We have to grow. We have to kind of go with the flow,
Yeah. I like how, you said how they only pick a couple songs from the album, because that is true. No matter how good the album, there are some albums that most of them are really good songs, but there's always going to be a handful of them that people will just stream over and over again. I noticed when my first album or whatever came out, it actually came out this last summer. It was many positive reviews on it. It was a good album, but there are a few of those songs. There are a handful of songs, like 5 songs that people will just keep coming back to. And then over time, the rest of the album starts to get, like the rest of it starts to get forgotten. And that's true. Like financially, it doesn't make sense, but you know, albums do, in terms of like a fan base, albums do hype up your fan base. Like they're like, oh, I got an album coming. That's a good thing about them. They're like, yeah, I got this whole project coming. So then that's a way of getting your fans back in check.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I get what you're saying with the singles and all that. Do albums, how long does an album take you? I mean, I guess.
Oh man, the first one took me about 8 months, the first one. And then the next one, 6 months. Now I think if I go full time into creating, because, you know, I also do real estate, I'm pretty busy when it comes to my real estate business and everything that I do. I'd say it can take about minimum 3 months with my workload right now, with everything I got going on in real estate. It'll take me about 3 months to put out an album of about 12, 13 songs.
And that album would be like an hour long, or is it like 45 minutes?
So yeah, I try to keep it under 45 minutes just because my music is like, I try to just stick, well, on my last 2 albums, they were commercial. They were meant for radio play. So I kept all my songs under 3.5 minutes, kept it under the 3.5 minutes. And so about 45-minute album. Yeah. I honestly like 45-minute album times. I think an hour doesn't sound like a lot, but to listen to a whole hour of an album, it can seem kind of long. And it seems like it's dragged on a little bit, but yeah, I aim for 45 minutes. Yeah. I think half an hour is too short. Well, actually, half an hour to 45 minutes. That's good. Anything under half an hour, it's like more of an EP, if anything. Yeah. Yep. That's true.
Yeah. And I got another question too, is like, so you're well aware of like keeping your stats on your songs and stuff. Is there ever like, there's multiple questions to this, is when you're releasing songs, when you're making them, say you make an album, there's that one song that you're like, this is going to blow up, or like, this is going to be the top song of the album. I know it. And then either it is or it's not. Like, how do you go with that? Like, is there always a song you're rooting for, you know?
Yeah. There's always a song that I'm like, dude, this is it. This is a song that people are going to love and go crazy over. And most of the time, it's not. It's another song that I wasn't even expecting, you know? And that happens in the music industry. That happens all the time. It's just a matter of being consistent, man. That's what I'm doing now. Like right now I'm in a project where I am pretty much investing heavily into producing as much content as I possibly can. As many songs as I can produce, and I'm going to be launching them every other week. I'm going to be putting stuff out because really you kind of get an idea what people are listening to and what they like. But at the end of the day, they're the judges. They're the ones that are going to decide what they like or not. So you just have to put stuff out. That's my take, and that's what I'm going to be focusing on here to finish out 2019 and to really drive in 2020.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I felt the same thing, especially the album I released in the summer. I had this one song when I was making, I'm like, this is so good. Like, to me, It was perfect. Like, I couldn't do any better than it. And then it is one of the top songs in the album, but it wasn't the top. There was other songs I'm like, how? Like, people like this one more. I find it crazy. But I mean, you're the one making it. You're the one putting the feelings into it. For me, that song means the most to me. Yeah. But like you said, at the end of the day, when it's a bunch of people listening to it, your audience, they just listen to whatever they want, and they're the ultimate judges. So that sums it up, really. Since you have 5 albums, is it kind of the same way with your albums? If you're expecting a certain album to be like better than the other?
Well, you know what? I've actually, no, when it comes to albums, the ones I have expected to perform better, statistically speaking, have. So that's been my experience. Like my recent album, I thought that one was going to be the one that performed the best, and it has thus far. I don't know if it's just because the music is better, or if because the times are different, or I'm distributing different, or my marketing is doing different, but I have expected that one to perform better, and it has. So, but I also think it's part of the growing process, as artists every day. If we're really searching, we're going to find ways and tools to further our music. So, I think I've grown as an artist. I've grown in the industry. I've learned more than I've known in the past years, that have enabled my new album to perform better. So, it's all about what and things like that.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I like how you say moment of time, because that was another thing I was going to touch on. You said it earlier, how albums come out at a certain time in your life, and there's different, expressions and feelings being put into an album. That's so true. That raises a problem that I see, is that, like we know Eminem. Eminem is a good example, because everyone's bashing his music now, but it's like, because he's changed so much. Because the albums we really loved from him were like back in, is it 1999, 2000, like the Marshall Mathers LP, and then 2001, the Eminem Show. Like those are just legendary albums.
Oh yeah.
And then going from that to his newest stuff, he's getting bashed a lot, but like at the same time, it's like people want the old Eminem or whatever. It's like you're never gonna get people. Like artists change. There are a lot of, that's kind of a blind, like a lot of people are blinded by that. They always want you put out a really good hit back in the day, they're always gonna set the expectation of that. And it's frustrating, because some people always like, I've had some people talk to me about my music, be like, oh, I want you to put out something like this song, whatever, that you posted a while back or whatever. It's like, I don't feel like that. I'm not feeling that kind of music anymore. Or like, there was so much feeling put into that at the time that I don't have that feeling anymore. Like, it's such a creative process, like you said. But wouldn't you agree? Like the change.
Oh, I agree, 100%, man, 100%. We change as human beings. Therefore, what we produce, what comes out of us, what we are inspired to do, will also change. And it's just a matter of, your fan base. Ultimately, I think those that are with you, that follow you, that love you, that are always engaged, they'll go through the changes with you. Those that just like the beat maybe of a song that you made, or could relate at that moment to some lyrics on your album or your song, they'll stick around as long as it's valuable to them. But in the moment it's not, they'll leave. But I mean, as artists, we have to not do things right. At least me, this is how I see it. I'm not going to do music just to try to get the whole market to love me. I'm not going to do music to try to get the biggest piece of the pie. I'm going to do music that I love, music that is sincere, that comes from my heart. I'm going to do the best job that I can to produce it, to make sure that it sounds great, that it makes sense, so that people can digest it and just receive the message that are in my songs. And that's it. I'm not going to focus on anything else. I'm not going to focus on like, but maybe that group of people won't like me anymore, or maybe they'll judge me. Like I've seen that in my career. The same people that maybe started to follow me in the beginning have stopped following me now, because they say, well, he's not, sticking to the same style of music he did in his first album, and he changed it up, and he's not, being true to himself. I'm like, no, I'm just evolving as a human. I'm growing, I'm aging, I'm learning. So it's you got to do music because you love it, and you got to do it for those that are going to follow you.
Yeah, I like how you said with the followers, because I've noticed that too. You have them in the beginning and then they're like, they just leave. That happens all the time. There's people, it's like, yeah, people come in and they go. But there's a handful of people that are followers or your audience that will stick with you no matter what, because they like the feeling you put into it, or they like the atmosphere you create with your music, and they're just like your overall style. And that's what you're trying to find people like that. But at the end of the day, you do it for you. You do it because you want to do it. Because like if you're just doing music for publicity, you're not going to get anywhere. You have to do it for yourself. You have to like do it because, you know, it's like, hey, it's a Saturday. I got nothing going on. Like write some music or something. And then like while you're doing it, you're enjoying it and be like, yeah, like, you know,
so true.
That's basically the process. And you got to be true to yourself. That's how it goes.
Yeah, that's it, my man. That's totally it.
Yeah. So, performance and stuff. Do you do a lot of shows and whatnot?
Well, I used to do a lot more shows than nowadays, but I am planning out a tour to 2020. I will definitely be doing a lot more shows regularly, at a minimum for a month. So one show a week. It's definitely in the making. I can't wait to get out there with the people, with, you know, just see the faces, see different people that show up to the shows, because that in itself, that also, man, is so satisfying to see the people that follow you in person and have them just kind of share their stories in regards to, you know, how your songs relate to their life. That's pretty fulfilling, man. So I can't wait. 2020, a bunch of shows.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, like it is satisfying doing shows and whatnot, or like people sing along to your stuff. Yep. Or whatever. But like that's just the greatest feeling in the world.
Yeah.
With shows and all that, it really all ties down all your music. And you do real estate on the side. So how do you? Is it difficult, or what were you gonna say?
Yeah, so real estate has allowed me to generate the finances and to have freedom, pretty much, to be able to focus in on other projects. Real estate, I started when I was 18 years old. I got my real estate license. I studied hard. I passed the exams, and I began to represent buyers and sellers and made a commission on that. I saved up some money, and then I bought my first home. I fixed the house little by little, and then I flipped it. And then I used the money on that to buy another one. And I just kept on, you know, repeating that process. And real estate has definitely, brother, been the tool that has enabled me to now do what I do with music. I am in a transition where I'm trying to transition out of real estate and into music full time. Why? Because, you know, it becomes a responsibility. With my real estate, there's a large demand on my time. You know, I'm always being a part of a project, or if there's property that it always requires time. So it's a job. Pretty much it's a job. But I'm in a moment where I'm transitioning out from real estate into my music. So definitely for those that are looking to follow me, they can find me on Instagram, you know, at Lewis H Music. I have another Instagram that we're developing just to focus in on the business side of not music, but the real estate thing. For those that, you know, want to learn about the business, want to get into the business, the tips, the do's, the don'ts, I'm happy to share that with them. So if they want to connect, I also have a YouTube channel. If they look me up with my name, they can find me, and I go into details on how to become a real estate investor, how to get a real estate license, you know, what to do, what not to do. So I'm definitely happy to share my story if it can inspire and help somebody, you know, achieve any goals that they may have for themselves.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, it'd be nice, like you want to transition, like hopefully you do manage to get that done. Because it'd be nice to be doing what you love for a living, doing music and stuff.
Yeah.
Without, you got two different lives going on with the fuck.
Yeah, you know, it's crazy. You know what? I've always pretty much managed it. And a lot of people say, you know, you got to focus in on one thing only and just blow it up, you know. In my experience, I focused on pretty much 3 things in my past 10 years of life. I focused in on finishing my degree over at university, at my Arizona State University. I finished my degree. I continued my education, got some licenses to do the real estate, to do some other FINRA stuff. And I pretty much juggled the whole time. I've been successful, I want to say, in multiple industries, but not as successful as I'd like to be. So I do believe, you know, it's important to focus, you know, kind of on one thing and just knock it out of the park. That's important. In my situation, I kind of wanted stability, financial stability. I wanted to have an income coming in. I wanted to be able to provide for my family before just jumping into my music, you know? So I kind of did things a little bit backwards, but right now I'm at the point of my life where, okay, I have this stability. My family's comfortable. We're okay financially. We're doing okay. You know, we have our needs met. Now I should focus in on pursuing my career as an artist.
Yeah, for sure. For me, it's been a side thing. Like, obviously I'm doing this job, and then any free time I get, it's the music and stuff like that. So yeah. It's just, like you said, it's the time. It's like, you gotta put the time in and you slowly grow it.
Yep.
I'm not here to be a one-hit wonder like some people. Like, I'm just here to grow my music and do whatever I need to do with it on the side. Just gotta give it time. I'm still young. I'm still 20. So
beautiful. Yeah. You got a lot of time.
Yeah, just do whatever I need to do. But I had another question too, because we're kind of moving into real estate. I have one more question about the music. In terms of software, like, what do you use? Like, do you mix and master it, or do you produce certain things on? Like, what do you use for software?
So I'll produce in Pro Tools. I'll capture. I'll record Pro Tools, and then I send it off to get mixed and mastered. I don't do that myself.
Okay.
Why? Because, you know, I think you need to find the people that are better than you in certain areas that you're not, you know, like an expert in, and just outsource that work. So I don't know what they use. I've used Logic in the past. Very good software. Pro Tools. All these tools nowadays, man, pretty much do the same thing. It's just a matter of you getting pretty good at one of them, learning the software, learning how to use it, learning how to drive pretty much. And that's it. That's it. The rest is history. It's just a matter of creating and doing good work.
Yeah. How much is it to mix and master usually, or
so
sharing?
Yeah, sure. No, it depends, man. You can find anybody who will master from $100 and up. It really makes as well. It really depending on how many instruments, how many channels you have up, depending on the genre, all that stuff, you know. But usually you can anywhere from $100 and up per song, not per album, you know, per song. So if you have a 10, you know, it's simple math. If you have an album that's 10 songs, you know, it's $1,000 to mix it, another $1,000 to master it. So it really just depends.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about mixing your own stuff, or
nah,
do you work on it on the side, or you just don't worry about it?
Not at all. Mostly because of my time, man. I'm pretty busy. I'm always doing stuff. Like, after this interview, I have 3 different appointments that I have to get to, some in regards to real estate, others in regards to my music, and I'm always busy. So I figure, if I'm not the best at mixing and mastering, why not, you know, pay somebody else to do it? You know, if it makes sense for the song, if that is going to make my song even better, then I need to do it. You know, that's how I see it.
Yeah. Making anything better is definitely worth the cash. I mix and master stuff, but I'm constantly learning things every time. When I went to school and stuff, I went to school for multimedia and stuff. So we covered a lot of audio mixing and mastering, and that's where I kind of know a bunch of it already. Even before in high school, actually, I didn't do too much mixing. I don't think I did mixing in high school. I did a bunch of other stuff, but I never did mixing and mastering. And then college is where we kind of touched on that. But there's still so much to it. I'm still learning new things. And I do save, especially with my stuff, I save a lot of money doing it myself because there are so many instrumentals. I got whole layouts of instrumentals. And with all my instrumentals, they're all produced digitally, like trumpets and stuff like that. I all do this stuff digitally. I don't play. I'm looking to play, get into some instruments myself, like guitar and stuff like that. Maybe a violin, but I don't know where to find a violin.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. Like, you know how to do the guitar or whatnot.
Yeah, the guitar is definitely my well, it's not my primary. My primary is the piano. I play the piano much better than I play the guitar. But I love strings, man. All kinds of strings, even electronic on a synthesizer, dude. If you get the right sound, if you have the right gear, oh, dude, you can do so many things with strings and different sounds. I love it, man.
That's mostly what my music is composed of strings and different violins. You got
stuff. I'd love to hear it, man. Whenever
I want to hear some of your stuff too, because you've been talking about 5 albums. I'm just sitting here like I gotta look this up.
Yeah, check it out. You can go to Spotify. You can go to Pandora.
It's just your name, eh?
Yeah, Luis Hernandez. That's it.
Yeah.
Type in my name. You'll find me. I'm the guy with the bald head with the glasses.
Yeah.
You'll find me. Just check out all my stuff, man. Let me know what you think. Send me a message after you hear most of the stuff.
Yeah, I'll follow your stuff. Keep in touch. I want to hear what you've got coming next and whatnot. But yeah, for sure. And another thing, with the strings, whatever that I'm putting together, like there's the cello, like the bass and all that, and then the upright violin. There's so many different types of strings. I'm constantly working with them. I use this big touchscreen pad, and then that's how I do all of it digitally, because it would set up all my strings and the synthesizers and stuff, and then I can just work around with that. I can also lay it out as a keyboard, like a piano keyboard, and then you could do different strings on that in case you can't do the strings digitally. It's really interesting, but I kind of want to get into traditional, if I could actually get a violin, kind of teach myself how to play it, and then I could just sync it in and record it. That would be nice, but it's a lot of money buying instruments.
Oh yeah.
So that's why you got to start. You got to start with something. That's what I'm going with at the moment. Save enough money, try to get a violin, a guitar, or whatever, and go from there.
Beautiful, man. Well, good luck, my man. You'll do good things. I know it. You got the right attitude. You got youth. You're young, bro. You're gonna do amazing things with it. I can't wait to be on the lookout to hear some of your stuff. But send it to me, man.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks.
Send me some stuff, and anything you need, send me a DM, bro. I'm happy to help.
Yeah, for sure. You do vocals and stuff, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm always constantly, that's when everyone has that one field. You're talking about mixing and mastering being the field that you're I'll send it to someone else, right? I would say vocals and stuff would be my field. I'm all right. I don't do too much vocals myself. I do a hook or something.
Yeah.
I won't do a whole song, but that's me. I'm always looking for vocalists and stuff. So whatever the case may be.
Yeah, man. Keep me on the list. Keep me on the list. If you ever need anything in English, Spanish, or Portuguese, man, I can do all 3 languages. And yeah, man, I'd be happy to be a part of any project. Send me a song, check it out.
Yeah, for sure. I'll keep you in touch. But I guess we got more questions, so that wraps up the music. Unless you want something to add to it, I've tried to ask as much as I was interested to hear from another musician, because I've always had things that no one else would understand, whatever. But
no, it's good, man. Just whoever's watching this, I want them to know that I'm a source of if I can offer value to anyone, I'm happy to help. All my links, I'm pretty sure you're going to put up my links to the Instagram. It's Lewis H Music. I'm creating a new one that's just going to focus in on music, because right now, if you follow me on social media, you'll see that everything's together, and it's cool. You know, some people can digest it, others can't. Others say, no, I just want to focus in on his music. I don't care what he does in real estate. You know, I don't care about his lifestyle or vlogs, things like that. So I'm creating a new one. I'll be sending you those links. I'm pretty sure you'll probably put them up here on the video. All my stuff is up on Spotify, Pandora, iTunes. You find me by just typing in my name. I can also probably send you the links. And yeah, just happy to help. If you guys need anything, I'm here to help.
Yeah, for sure. That's what we're doing Expert Series for. We're trying to help each other out on both sides. Win-win scenario, if you want to say.
Yep.
But yeah, real estate, if you want to tell it, I guess we had some more questions about it. People are always interested about that too. There's always people looking for advice on real estate. Speaking of advice, do you have any advice for people that want to get into real estate?
Yeah, if you want to get into it, the things that you need, definitely you need the wisdom, the understanding of the business. You have to engulf yourself in the industry. You have to learn. You have to learn as much as possible. When I was a kid, I used to hear the whole knowledge is power, but that's the truth. You need to understand what you're getting into. So I part of what I do in real estate, I do offer a mentorship program where I show you how to replicate what I do. And I'll show you in details the type of deals I get, the type of properties I buy, what I put into the property to then be able to flip it, to make money on the flip, on the end of the transaction. I show you how to buy houses sometimes without money, how to wholesale, how to market to those that need to sell their home. I show you how to build the relationships that you need in the real estate transactions with title companies, with different lenders, with prospects, how to do it properly. So number one, you have to get educated. Number one, you need to get educated. You need to find someone that has done it in the past at the level that you aspire to achieve, because there's people that have done it, but not at the level that you want. You know, you have to pick and choose who your mentors are going to be in the game. You have to pick and choose. You have to be wise. You have to be like, okay, what have they done? What evidence, what proof do they have that they're good at what they do? You know, if they have that, okay, find a mentor. And number two, it's just a matter of working, man. It's a matter of putting in the time. It's a matter of putting in the investment and going to it. You're going to make mistakes, but you can't allow the potential mistakes that you're going to make to limit you and not allow you to pursue the industry. You know, you have to be able to just jump in, man. Mistakes are part of life. Growing. I remember when I was growing as a teenager, you know, I felt pain, you know, I felt pain in my knees. I felt pain on my elbows. I was feeling pain. Why? Because I was growing. I was developing. Same thing in the real estate game. Sometimes it might feel uncomfortable. Sometimes you're not okay with that amount of risk. You know, sometimes you'll think, but man, it's a lot of money. You know, what about me just leaving it in the bank, you know, leaving it in the account? No, you have to take leaps of faith. You need to have faith. And that's pretty much my third and last point. You need to have faith in anything that you do. You know, if you don't believe in yourself, or if you don't believe in God per se, I believe a lot in God, and I wake up every day and I believe that, you know, God has my back and I'm going to do great things. And then I believe in myself. You know, you have to develop that confidence. You have to have that belief in place that both God, life, and you are going to, you know, make things happen in your life. So those are definitely my biggest points of advice that I can give anyone looking to jump into the market. And that's it.
Yeah, for sure. That was really in depth. Yeah, like you covered it pretty much a bunch. It goes with anything too. Some of the stuff you're saying is that if you ever want to succeed in any kind of field, you just got to work hard at it and keep your head up. Always have that. Always want to do something that you'll like.
Yeah.
Too. Like you have to somewhat like something. You can't go into something that you don't like. It's not going to work.
Exactly. So true.
You can't force things to happen that weren't meant to happen. But you spoke of like having those right, like, you know, mentors and all that. You had many, like,
oh yeah,
along
the years. Oh yeah, along the years, I've had so many mentors. Most of them, I tell you, have been, relationships that I hold dear today. Like I still keep in touch with a lot of them. Others I haven't. Others, it was just in that moment that we kind of got connected. I learned from them. Something key. If I can give you something of value when it comes to finding mentors, you have to be willing to invest in your mentors as well. Some people just want to take, it's in our nature to want to take stuff, it's normal to just say, okay, I want this from this person and thank you very much and move on. But before we get the biggest pieces of advice that can change our business, sometimes we have to invest in that mentor. I remember when I have a mentor, his name is David. I remember before I learned anything really meaningful from him, I literally used to take him out to lunch, like wherever he wanted. I would say, just please give me 30 minutes of your time. I'll even pay you if you ask of me for your 30 minutes. I'll buy you lunch. I'll take you wherever you want. Please just let me, talk to you. And I did that for like 5 different sessions before I got a valuable piece of advice, something that I was like, oh my gosh, like, I can do something with this. And it's part of, you reap what you sow. So I tell every young investor out there that wants to get into the game, believe and invest. It doesn't require hundreds or thousands of dollars. It requires a little bit, but you have to be willing to do that.
Yeah, certainly. Have you had many hardships?
Oh yeah, a lot of them. Oh yeah, man. I've lost thousands of dollars, man. Thousands. I've lost thousands of dollars on deals, on properties, with contractors, with people that say they're going to do something for you. You front them money. Like if you go and look at my past YouTube videos, I have a lot of YouTube videos on my old channel where I go into detail on experiences where I've lost so much money with people that I trusted, with people that, I expected them to uphold their word and to do what they said they would do, and they didn't. So yeah, you know what, but if I focus in on all the mistakes and all the losses I've had, I probably give up, because it's been a lot, like thousands of dollars, not a little bit, thousands of dollars. Like I could have bought like a freaking, with the amount of money I've lost, man, I could have bought an exotic car. An exotic car is like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like I've lost so much money in real estate, but I've also learned from those mistakes. I've learned. So now, I learned. So I'm not going to make those mistakes. And that's why I think finding a mentor is important, because you can learn from their mistakes. If the mentor is willing to go into detail on their mistakes and the things they've done, they're a good mentor. It's somebody that's going to help you cut a lot of time out and effort in you accomplishing certain things. So definitely, man, use a mentor. Use and learn from their experiences.
Yeah, it's pretty important to have that somebody to kind of guide you through. And even with the mistakes that you make, that's the only way you learn. You don't learn from your success, because at the end of the day, you did something right. Your brain's going to be like, hey, we did it right. You don't learn, like, you're not going to think about it twice, like a mistake. You think about it like a couple times, like what went south, like, what did I mess up, or who, like, you trust the wrong people or something like that. Like there's going to be like that. Everything's like that. You got to make sure you really dive in depth with certain people, I guess, too. But that's life. There's people that, can't be trusted with certain things. Especially with money. There's a lot of greedy people out there. You can get ripped off in certain things, but
that's the truth.
That's just part of the game. So I guess another question would be, I never even asked this, but it's kind of throwing back to your music, is that what kind of advice would you give to somebody like who's just say a musician who's watching this, trying to get out there or whatever? What kind of advice would you give?
I'd tell them, man, to definitely sit down, get organized in regards to their timing, figure out what genre they want to be in, and just put a time schedule into your creative process. Put a schedule down to distribute your content, put a schedule down to, tour, to go out, meet people. It's all a matter of being organized. That's pretty much it, man. In any business, if it's real estate, if it's music, if it's medical field, whatever it is, man, to be successful, you need to have organization like well figured out in your life. And once you do, it's a matter of time. It's a matter of time. You'll get there. You'll get to your destination. Something I've been working on in my life is enjoying the process, enjoying the moment. Sometimes when I think back of the past 14 years of my life that I've been, a part of real estate, like it's gone by so fast, like super fast. I started from zero to where I'm at now, and it's gone by so fast, man, that I wish I would have enjoyed it a little bit more. I wish I would have not been wanting to be elsewhere, but be in the moment. Live the present, enjoy what you do, and you'll get to your destination. But a lot of people that have arrived to their destination, they'll tell you, like I've seen a lot of stuff where artists who are like ridiculously successful, they'll say it wasn't all that I thought it would be. Like the hype, it wasn't all that. Like, you got to live the moment. Like if you love music because you love music, then do music. You'll get famous, you'll get all the recognition that you want to get eventually, but live in the moment. Live the moment and enjoy it, man. Produce, create, and that's it, man.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of that with music and stuff. Living in the moment is exactly, because your music kind of, as we say, when your emotions and feelings are attached to it, that's from that moment. So don't take time for granted, I guess. Just gotta be patient with things.
That's definitely it, my man. That's definitely it. It's really nice. I want to thank you guys and everyone there at the company. I want to thank you guys for giving me the opportunity on your platform to share a message, man. My desire is to add value to anyone's life, either in the music industry or in the real estate game. I'm happy to help. Thank you for the effort that you guys have put into the interviewing process. Again, if you guys ever need anything, I'm happy to help. Unfortunately, man, I got to run. I actually have an appointment in about 40 minutes, but it's on the other side of town. So I got to wrap some things up at home and I got to jet out. But if you guys need anything, man, just send me a DM, send me a message, and I'm happy to be a part of anything else.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, thanks again for doing it.